This is my 7-year-old Samsung phone. The screen is cracked, the back is scratched up and stained from years of use. And honestly, most people would probably consider it complete junk by now. But somehow, this phone can now run console games, PC games, emulators, and even function like a real Linux computer. And the craziest part is, I didn't root the phone. I didn't unlock the bootloader. I'm not using remote streaming or cloud gaming. This entire Linux environment is running directly on Android itself. So today I want to see just how far I can push this old Galaxy A70 and whether an old Android phone can secretly become a real gaming machine. Let's find out. Now, before we go any further, I should probably explain what this actually is. Right now, this phone is running a lightweight Linux desktop environment through Termux and Termux X11. And after spending a few minutes exploring the desktop, I slowly started realizing that this was way more usable than I expected. I could browse the web, watch YouTube videos, move files around, even install Linux applications almost like a normal computer. And honestly, once I connected a mouse and keyboard, the whole thing immediately started feeling less like a phone and more like some weird miniature Linux PC. Well, a very cramped one. Because trying to use desktop Linux on a 6-inch screen still felt completely ridiculous. But somehow, it worked. And that's exactly what made me curious about gaming. Because if this old phone could already handle basic desktop tasks, then maybe console emulation wasn't completely impossible either. But there was still one huge problem. The screen. Because even though this setup was surprisingly portable and actually pretty convenient, trying to use a full Linux desktop on a tiny phone display for long periods of time quickly became exhausting. Menus felt cramped. Windows overlapped everywhere, and after a while, my eyes genuinely started hurting. Normally, the obvious solution would have been connecting the phone directly to an external monitor through USB-C video output. But the Galaxy A70 doesn't support that feature at all. So instead, I ended up doing something significantly weirder. I grabbed my old Raspberry Pi 3 and turned it into a wireless display receiver using SCRCPY. And honestly, this part felt completely ridiculous. Because after just a few setup steps, I was somehow able to stream the entire Samsung phone display directly onto a full-size monitor through a tiny Raspberry Pi sitting on my desk. At that point, everything immediately became way more usable. Now I could properly connect a mouse and keyboard, open multiple windows comfortably, actually see what I was doing. And for the first time, this setup genuinely started feeling less like a hacked-together phone experiment and more like an actual miniature Linux computer. Now, I wanted to play a few classic NES games and revisit a bit of my childhood. And honestly, this was the moment where the whole idea suddenly started feeling real. I was literally sitting inside a desktop Linux environment, emulating old console hardware on a 7-year-old Android phone. It actually worked fairly well. Controllers connected normally, games launched almost instantly, and even though this entire setup was technically running through layers of Android, Termux, Linux, and emulation stacked on top of each other, it still felt completely usable. Now, obviously, NES games are basically nothing for modern hardware. Even this old Galaxy A70 could emulate them without much trouble. But honestly, that wasn't really the impressive part. What impressed me more was how quickly this thing stopped feeling like a normal phone and started feeling more like some weird ultra-budget portable gaming computer. And naturally, once I realized the simple stuff worked reasonably well, I immediately wanted to see how far I could actually push this setup. And of course, once the older retro games started working, I immediately wanted to try something heavier. So naturally, the next step was PSP emulation. And honestly, this was the point where the whole project started feeling kind of ridiculous. Because games like Burnout Legends and Tekken 6 were actually running pretty well on the phone itself, which is honestly not something I expected from a 7-year-old Galaxy A70 running this weird Linux setup on top of Android. But then there was the monitor setup, and yeah, this was where things immediately started falling apart. Because while the gameplay still felt smooth directly on the phone screen, the moment I looked over at the larger monitor connected through the Raspberry Pi, the delay was impossible to ignore. Inputs felt late, the video feed constantly lagged behind, and sometimes it literally took a few seconds for the monitor to catch up with what was happening on the phone. At that point, Tekken basically turned into a turn-based fighting game, which honestly makes sense because SCRCPY here wasn't using a direct video connection at all. The phone was wirelessly streaming its entire screen over Wi-Fi, while the Raspberry Pi 3 was trying its best to decode and render everything in real time. And once the games became faster and more visually demanding, the poor little Pi 3 simply couldn't keep up anymore. So at this point, I realized something pretty important. Using the larger mirrored display was actually fine for lighter stuff like web browsing, Linux applications, or basic desktop tasks. But for gaming? Yeah, the experience on the big monitor was honestly pretty terrible. But even with all the delay and jankiness on the larger display, the PSP games themselves were still technically playable on the phone. And honestly, that was already impressive enough for a 7-year-old Android device. But at this point, I still wasn't satisfied. Now I wanted to know whether this thing could handle something even heavier. So yes, I decided to try PS2 emulation next, which honestly turned the entire project into something completely ridiculous. Because this poor old phone was now trying to run Android, Termux, a full Linux desktop environment, a PS2 emulator, and wireless screen streaming to the Raspberry Pi, all at the same time. And with only a Snapdragon 675 powering all of this, the results were exactly as chaotic as you'd expect. Games like Tekken 5 technically worked, but everything moved like a slow-motion movie. Animations felt delayed, fights looked like they were happening underwater. At this point, the phone wasn't really running PS2 games anymore, it was fighting for its life. But, weirdly enough, that's also what made this part so funny. Because during the PSP tests, the games were running fast enough to completely overwhelm the Raspberry Pi screen streaming setup. The monitor delay was horrible. But now, since the PS2 games were already running at this painfully slow speed, the Raspberry Pi suddenly had way more time to breathe, so somehow, the giant screen delay actually became less noticeable than before, which is honestly one of the dumbest technical solutions I've ever accidentally discovered. The emulation became so slow that the screen streaming setup finally had enough time to catch up. And honestly, after all of that, I started getting a little too confident, because at this point I had already managed to run Linux, emulators, desktop applications, and even PS2 games on this thing, no matter how painfully slow some of it was. So naturally, my brain immediately went, okay, but what about Minecraft? And that was the moment the entire setup finally started fighting back. Because the second I tried installing Prism Launcher, everything immediately turned into a complete mess. Even something as basic as installing Java for Prism Launcher immediately became a problem. On a normal Linux PC, this would be a simple install. But here, inside Termux, on top of Android, things were clearly not that simple anymore. Because while this setup looked like a real desktop Linux machine, it definitely didn't behave like one. Some applications worked fine, some barely launched, and Prism Launcher? Yeah, that completely refused to cooperate. At that point I started realizing that this wasn't really a replacement for a normal Linux PC at all. It was more like a weird experimental layer sitting on top of Android, impressive for basic desktop tasks, surprisingly usable for retro gaming, but still full of strange bugs, compatibility issues, and random things breaking for absolutely no reason. So after spending all this time turning an old Android phone into some weird Linux gaming experiment, I think I finally understand what this thing actually is. No, it's not a replacement for a real gaming PC. And honestly, it's not even a particularly good Linux computer either. The setup is buggy, some applications barely work, screen streaming latency is awful for heavier games. And half the time, Linux itself feels like it's being held together with duct tape and pure luck. But somehow, that's exactly what made this entire experience so interesting to me. Because a 7-year-old cracked Samsung phone that most people would probably throw away somehow managed to run a Linux desktop, emulate console games, connect to a monitor, and almost behave like a tiny portable gaming computer. And honestly, even though this setup is completely impractical, ridiculously cursed, and occasionally painful to use, I still had way more fun with it than I expected. Because sometimes the most interesting tech experiments aren't the ones that work perfectly. They're the ones that probably shouldn't work at all.